Hello, hello.
Hi, 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 hi. Hi,
Hola.
everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
Can see that we have a deeper voice in the set today.
Actually,
Hi.
say
Joanna,
hula,
let's go like
hula,
that.
hula.
Yeah. Hi.
But anyway, it's a cold day, so maybe that's why.
Right.
But the
Be
more we
why.
talk, the more we put heat on his bum bum.
Yes, that's good.
Maybe by the end of this, he'll be singing in soprano.
I'm screaming, please. Anyway, I don't want to hear women are not funny, as you can see.
Honestly,
I'm
the
laughing,
agenda is
so
moving.
women are funny. I'm laughing.
See,
Oh,
the
this is what
ministry
I
is
love.
moving.
Welcome, man.
I'm so proud of myself. I keep making converts every
You
day.
try.
Normally, not
Well
too loud.
done.
Anyway, let's introduce our guest.
No, let's start from ourselves. What do you mean? On our podcast.
So it's true. How do we do that? But that's fine because we really want to talk to you today. But yeah, my name is Oluwatoyin for short as always.
And my
And
name
then-
is Joanna, but you should call me Joe because my government is not a democracy. It's Joe or nothing.
Joanna.
You think you're funny? See, men are not really. See, let me tell you.
This is an agenda I can get behind, like 100.
This thing constitutes a part of my childhood nightmares. That time it was Joanna. Come take the. I they say Joanna.
I know that
yes.
song.
Oh my God.
Bro,
Trauma.
tomato, like wrap it up. It's
Trauma.
a sale joke.
Wrap it
up quickly. Anyway.
Yes, so I think I should introduce our guest because I was pleasantly surprised to discover that our guest appears to be a fashion boy.
That's right.
You know. But yes, we have a wonderful guest here today, and I'm just gonna read a very impressive bio.
If we do say so.
I need to
And
take
we
a deep
say
breath
so.
for this.
Interesting.
All right. So his name is Tega Gabriel, and he's a seasoned marketing manager with over 7 years of expertise, excelling in digital marketing and media management across various sectors. He has a track record of devising tailored strategies to drive growth, enhance visibility, expand market reach, and bolster public image.
Only you.
Only him. Oh.
Okay, now.
Only him. You know those Nollywood movies where there'll be someone standing Igwe and they're funny.
See, it's giving.
So real. So real right now. And I'm not done.
Oh.
There's
Tega's career journey spans technology, fitness, and finance, where he consistently delivers impactful marketing campaigns yielding tangible outcomes. Currently, he serves as the Senior Growth Manager at Africhange, spearheading growth and marketing endeavors. Please welcome Tega Gabriel to In Contest.
Thank
Applause.
you. Thank you for having me.
Applause. Oh. Wow.
You know, I keep doing this all our guests because I admire all our guests. So may I touch the hem of your garments? But I'm not asking for permission. I've done it.
So why the mail?
Virtue has gone out of me.
You felt it right.
Yeah, felt
But
it.
don't worry. It's like planting seed. See,
All right, it shall germinate.
it's short for me, yes.
Love that.
Okay.
So, now we're going to go into an icebreaker just to get you warmed up. I can see you're warming up.
Based
already.
on, he said he was shy.
You get,
oh my
you know
God.
that our vibe is you just let you warm up normally, but let's warm you up for that.
He said, no, I'm shy all eye
I
on me.
mean,
Okay.
let's warm you up. The weather is cold, so
Yeah, now. Are you ready?
warm me up.
Choose a number from 1 to 20.
Wow. 19.
Why 19?
I feel like
Weirdo.
you guys, whoever compiled that list got tired by then.
Such a marketing
Sadiq.
person to
Ogbon Sadiq.
you say you don't catch on.
Can I trust you to pick number 19 and not pick number 4?
Sorry, that's on you.
Let me tell
You don't know.
Let me
You
tell
don't know.
In context, government is not a democracy.
Look, whatever we say here is what goes.
It's a microcosm of the country. Okay, let me keep
Fair
quiet.
enough.
Yes.
Okay, let's have it.
So let's start with one because I feel like as I'm looking at you, you like 2 questions. You answer 2 questions. So number 1, 2 truths and a lie. Convince us so.
Wow.
I love that
I don't
so
know how
much.
to lie, you.
Oh,
I'm a very honest
and
person.
you work in marketing.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
We tell the truth.
Coming from a marketer.
Only.
That is
We're
very
not
bad
lawyers.
of
We're
you.
marketers.
Mhm.
We don't lie.
But you know what?
I agree.
You're a very honest marketer for that.
For that, exactly.
Okay, so let me think of let me not spill. Okay. 2 truths and 1 lie.
Yes.
The truth is...
No, you not tell us. Just tell us 3 things,
You see?
and then
You see?
we'll guess the lie. So we're supposed to guess the lie.
Yes.
Joanna, put on your detective
Yeah.
vibe.
Mm.
I have a sister.
Okay.
Okay.
The mood is so pensive.
I do not know how to swim.
Okay.
I love food.
Okay. Let me just... I'm not really sure. But if you say you don't know how to swim... Okay, sorry. Where did you grow up?
Benin
Oh,
City.
shit, detective.
Benin City.
Yes.
His name is Tega. Ogene Tega.
Okay.
Okay. You come from Delta State.
This math that you want to math, so
Wait
you
now.
better math.
Delta State, meaning many
Oceans.
bodies of water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm not really sure that... Okay, let me just keep quiet. What do you think?
I'm trying to use like all the interactions I've been in with Tega to see if he loves food. But I've not been in enough interactions.
To be
so I
very
can't
fair,
go that way.
when he arrived, we asked him coffee or tea.
Say water.
He said water.
What does
I
that
don't know.
even mean?
It means you're not really eager for nutrition.
But I can love food and
I don't
love
like
water.
It's don't come.
No,
You
it's not
don't
true.
even. You're
That is
not
an
supposed to
irony.
be telling us.
Let me tell you,
Don't
you're
try to
speaking to a
convince
foodie
us.
right here.
Okay.
Water is not... Let me tell you, water
Joanna.
is just water.
Joanna,
It's not special.
Interesting.
what if he loves food?
I'm just trying to allow now.
What if?
Shey,
I'm on your side, I'm on your
is
side.
it DPO that usually do investigation in Nigeria film?
I'm really impressed with this investigative
Do you get
efforts.
But
The problem is
sister,
that-
I feel like as he said the first one first, that will not be the lie.
You don't know it's easy to get your lie out of the way.
I feel like no. He said that
Okay.
one first.
Let me just tell you, you choose the answer. I'm inclined to agree with you.
Oh,
Eh,
now
that's
so come on, move away from here. Okay. Let's go with. Because I don't like food, I'm going to say you don't like food.
You don't like food.
I'm not obsessed with food. I'm not
Madam.
a foodie. I eat, but like,
Madam.
it's alright.
Is that your final answer?
Look, yeah. I don't know what my final answer is, to be very honest. Because you did a really good job.
But we know we're all winners.
Nice one, bro. But
We're all winners at the end of the
we're
day. So
all
no
winners.
matter
Okay.
what it is.
I have no answer.
Oh.
Okay, you know what? I'll just go with the fact that you said you can't swim, although I can't swim. So I think like many people can't swim, but for variety's sake. So, well,
It should not be number one.
I actually know how to lie. I'm impressed.
Oh, wow. It's
Okay.
number one.
Wow. I don't have a sister.
you know, I told you that he was just trying to get the lie out of the way so he could tell the truth.
Yeah.
But why won't you have a sister? Like,
I mean-
are women not amazing? We thought you had.
Let me just tell you that
It's not my fault, my
my
dear.
siblings have a sister, but I don't have a sister.
Yeah, that's
So
you.
be careful.
Sorry
with,
to
be
you.
careful with
Happy for
Are your
them.
doing the
siblings
math.
boys?
Happy
Yes.
for them, but sorry to you. Okay. Well, I think it's because me. I have a number of sisters. Though.
Nah, I mean-
have a number.
And this is the first time I'm using that particular lie. I should be using it more often.
How many boys are you guys? How many boys are you? Oh, you're the only kid.
We used to be 3, now we're 2.
I'm sorry.
I know, right?
Sorry about that. Fair enough. That was a good lie. You try.
I do my best.
Anybody that
Now this just proves
Let
my
me just
point.
say-
Did I not say it at the
anybody
beginning?
that is eyeing him, beware.
What?
Beware.
Okay.
He's clearly good at lies.
Wow.
It just, I mean,
I lie only
This is proof.
on
you know-
weekends before
the agenda I'm trying to put
before 2
forth
p.m.
is that we need to retire the Yoruba demon scandal.
We need to move to-
and actually move to South men.
Urobo men don't
But
have
anyway-
good PR, by the way. You should know
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
And it's agenda, but you know,
It's
that's
not
topic for
agenda.
another
You
day.
just.
Even if it's
I
agenda,
won't
it
say
was
fully,
agenda.
but it looks like you just showed us why. That agenda might be agending.
Let's move into the conversation or the discussion for today.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, I mean, I doubt that anybody decides that when I wake up in the morning or when I'm younger, I want to be a marketer. Does anybody just... I'm not sure. Wait, don't let me answer for you. So let me ask my own question. More like, what was your childhood dream? Like, what did you want to be?
I had many dreams, so
Joseph, tell us.
I wanted to be an astronaut.
Real. Do you know there was an era where, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a pilot. Oh my God. I was just like, And then it got when it was a Ben Carson era, neurosurgeon.
Very specific.
So, but for real, like it was not just one. I saw one guy wear this suit, and I was like, I want to wear that suit, so I want to be an astronaut. No, I actually loved, the idea of space, the idea of, the heavens and all of that stuff, right? So I really wanted to be an astronaut. My elder brother wanted to be a pilot. My younger brother wanted to be a billionaire.
I know that one was focused from the beginning.
It was like, good luck to you people. I just want to be a billionaire. But
I just want to be shaman.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right. So I wanted to be an astronaut, but then as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, that's like one lofty dream. So I settled for the next best thing, and that was aeronautic engineering.
Of course.
And so my older brother, I remember he wanted to be a pilot. All right. So when he had redone his jam, I remember that day my dad sat in the living room, and we picked up that jam brochure. I don't know if they still have it, right? He picked up the jam brochure, looked for like the school that allows people study to become a pilot. I think it was somewhere in Zaria. And he called. And then they asked him if he had a sponsor. And he was like, why would he need a sponsor? I'm his father.
NDA?
And they were like, oh no. Usually people come with sponsors, kinikon. Typically, they were just trying to let him know that this thing is expensive. So my dad asked, so how much is it? And it was, I think about the time it was about 7 million or so, right? Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I know that my dad said 7 million. Okay, cut the call. And he called me and my elder brother and said, because I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, right? So that's basically the same school. I was like, guys, you people have to want another thing, right?
This was above my power.
So I wanted to then, I say, okay, what's the next best thing to be? Medical doctor. Cliche, I know.
Yes.
Right. I wanted to be a medical doctor.
I'm so glad I didn't give in to FOMO, man.
Right. I mean, I'm glad too. I'm very glad I did not become a medical doctor. It's
like mad.
Anyway, so I wanted to be a medical doctor. And then, we did the whole jam, post-JME thing. And eventually, let me say like we say it in Nigeria, they gave me zoology.
I feel you because na microbiology.
I'm sorry, but that was so real. They gave me.
In Nigeria, we don't accept. They give us.
They give us now.
So they gave me zoology, and that was it. But then I got admitted into Delta State University, and we just call it Abraka. So if you ever hear me reference Abraka, just know I'm talking of university, right? So I got admitted into Delsu, and did my time. But it wasn't.
Did you hear the way it sounded?
Yes,
like,
I did my time. It was like a So, but then while I was there, I had a friend. I don't want to call her name. She's very popular, right? And she became Google Student Ambassador.
Oh, I do like this.
PCT me. Okay, so she became Google Student Ambassador, and she had, I think one of her mandates or something was to set up the Google Student Club, right? So I was assisting her, and I think that was how I got into digital marketing, right? So if we had to train people, we had to know it, right? So that meant doing a lot of self-learning. There was no anything to train you, all right? You just have to train yourself, right? So that was the beginning. And before you know it, I found out that I loved digital marketing. I loved writing about digital marketing. So you just would be writing stuff like that. And, in a few years, I was a professional.
Right.
So that's really the story of my transition into becoming a digital marketer.
That makes sense. But you mentioned you loved it. What about this, like really stuck out to you that made you realize like this was a love, not just okay, yeah,
So,
I can do this to tidy.
I don't like meeting people. I don't like.
You don't like meeting people.
I don't really like people like
I don't know whether
that.
he's throwing subs at us.
I
but-
don't.
No, I like you guys. I like you guys. Alright, but then one, I do not like meeting people. Two, I'm in my head a lot, so I have to think. Right. Three, I like being part of growth stories, people's success stories.
Yeah.
Right. I do not like the limelight, but I like to be part of someone's limelight story.
Something impactful.
Yeah, and I like the fact that marketing at the time, at the time really, because I was doing everything, allowed me to be multiple people. So if I was doing marketing for a sports psychologist, I have to be a sports psychologist in a sense, right? I have to learn about sports psychology and all of that stuff. It was interesting to learn about these things. If I was doing marketing for a fashion person, I had to learn about fashion. So it was interesting. And I could do all of this without having to meet any of the people I was working for. So it's, aligned very much with my...
Introvert's dream.
Exactly. Right. And, whenever there was growth and big wins, it felt gratifying. Like, okay, I could sit in my house, make money, sponsor somebody's growth story, and learn. What could the guy ask? What more could the guy ask for?
Yeah.
Right. So I was like,
I'm sorry that I feel like it's a little bit. I mean, you don't have to answer, but it's just a note I wanted to make. I think it's a little bit of a paradox to describe, pursuing a career in marketing as the introvert's dream. But in his experience,
In
I
his
understand.
way, yeah, because it's usually the opposite.
Yes,
Like, usually,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So I mean, I'm not. But that's the weird thing, right? In my career, I've had to become people facing sometimes, right? But I would do anything to not face people.
Got it.
Right.
So like it's almost a miracle that we got you out here.
Yes, it is a miracle. I did not know this was going to
So
be
he
a
just
video.
corrected you. You said almost. He said it is.
He said, well,
Take your lucky stars.
do you understand? Well. We did it anyway, so shout out to us.
All right.
Okay. That's interesting. You already told us your marketing story and our own is very different though.
Yeah.
You guys wanted to become marketers?
No, obviously not.
Okay.
Please, so.
How's that now?
Okay.
Does anybody
I mean,
now,
like it falls
more
on people. Sorry, wait, just you did the what was it? Bio something.
Microbiology.
You did microbiology.
Let me tell you,
Well,
the
almost twins.
microbiology to marketing pipeline is very much alive
I know.
and active.
How so?
See,
Is alive. Oh,
some of my favorite marketers right now
and microbiology.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's
I don't
very
know.
real.
It's like you guys just get a wake up or like
I say
Mom.
we dey wait for you.
Are you sure?
Let me tell you guys one story. You put your no ask, because I'll tell you.
Okay.
They
My mom
lost.
and I, we had a
Lost.
fight one time.
You had what?
A
Sorry.
big fight.
Okay.
Guess why we fought?
Why?
She wanted me to use my certificate. And I said to do what?
Zoology. I'm sorry.
Like, what could I possibly do with zoology certificate in Nigeria?
Okay, in Nigeria.
Right.
Let's
Did
do
she
that.
answer you?
Well, it was a fight, so you can imagine the kind of response, you know. But eventually, they got with the program and we were all happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that's the way because
I think in the end, most parents really just want success, like their kids to be successful. So
Yeah.
there's a fear of what we don't understand, and there's a part
Exactly.
that
They
I
don't
guess looks
understand it.
good onto a man.
Yeah, and it took them quite a while to get used to it. That look, this boy is actually doing something that is called job.
Yes, and
right?
it's
Because it's
meaningful.
easy to be in the
'Cause you are
house
inside,
and be
yeah.
pressing laptop, right? And it's like, look,
What
go
I
and
do.
get a job. I'm
Yes.
like, bro, I have a job.
Yeah.
I think also sometimes when they see the money coming, they're like, at least it's not on the street. So,
And this,
Well,
they've not come to knock
that's
on the
alright.
door that is their.
do you understand?
I had to combat that. So like, look, I not be your boy.
It's
I did
part
work.
of the remote
I had
time.
this in my wardrobe. I had like a schedule that I had for like the clients that I was working with at the
Client,
time.
I'm sorry, that's very.
I know, right?
Yeah, very
Thank
HK coded.
Right? Okay. I don't want to. What would I call them? Clients, right?
No, but I'm just like, bro.
Exactly.
Are you sure?
So I would usually say, just go and look. Like, which Yahoo boy has a timetable to say, okay, look, I want to write for this person.
can find a couple
I want
for
to do this. Are you serious?
Joanna. I think if she does research, not that she knows anybody.
Please, I don't do it.
But yeah, I mean, all of us are happy now. Like the money is coming, sending money back home.
He's giving riches.
And they're praying for me, and I'm like, okay.
Brother.
What did she say?
Joanna just called her account number, you guys.
Oh,
I hate it.
You're like, the money is free. I'm like,
Did you get?
make I put my
Me, I
gold
thought
under the
I'll
tap.
see him like, after. But you said it.
See, no time to check time. Let him commit on camera. So that
Women in movement, because that was swift.
I mean, that's nice.
That's all right.
yeah.
So I want to ask about your roles. Have you always worked remotely?
No.
Okay.
Right. Well, I started remotely, obviously. Right. But then I would usually say that my professional career, my first employment proper job, started 2017 when I came to Lagos. I was working with a marketing agency, a marketing and branding agency, actually. Right. So it wasn't remote. I was going to the office
5 times.
every day. Right, at least apart from weekend, but if they could ask for weekend, they would have asked.
Yes, definitely.
Right, because that weekend is almost like they used to give you homework.
Yes.
Right, you submit it on Monday morning. Right, so I did that for 4 months. Then I quit and stayed back.
I stand.
You're not Gen Z, but Gen Z is to use eye and choke them down. For any small thing, they run away for their mental health. You are not a Gen Z. I know for a fact.
This is the fact that she actually said mental health, and that's so real.
You are a millennial sinner. We have.
I don't want to tell the story. Leave that story for another day. But I had to quit because I wasn't getting sacked, and I was like, you know what, just quit, right?
That's so.
Like just quit, right? So I quit, and then I think I was home for a long time, a few months, and eventually I would start get into fitness and then work for a fitness brand.
Okay.
There I would usually go to the office, right? So it was still on site so at this time I also had other things I was doing, right? So think of it like having multiple jobs, right? And I communicated this upon getting the job at the fitness brand, right? In fact, I did not apply for the fitness brand role. I applied for partner. I applied to like partner with them as like be marketing partner, right? But then they said, you know what? You never reach with a partner with. Come and work for us. So I got the job, right? So
a job is a job either way.
So after like a year, I was like, you know what, this thing is not working for my other things I'm doing. So I want to resign. And then we had a conversation. The man was like, you know what, instead of resigning, how about you go remote? Right? So you have the time to do whatever you want to do. But then when we need you to come in for a meeting or something, you show up.
You were too valuable.
I was like, okay, this works. Right. So that was my second taste of remote work, and I loved it, right? And then after a while, the man said, come back to the office. I was like,
It's when that happens.
What do you mean by that?
this coming back to the office, it cannot work. But then he paid me, increased the money I was getting. I was like, okay, cool, not a problem, I'll come back. So I got back to the office, and then lockdown happened eventually.
So you got your remote work.
So let me say something, unpopular opinion or whatever they will call it, I don't know. But I'm one of those people who really enjoyed the lockdown.
Yes.
And I am looking forward to another one. I just don't want people to die in the process, but I don't mind everybody being locked up and staying in their houses.
You know what? Thank God man no be God though. Because I enjoyed lockdown, but guess what? You can actually just lock yourself down in your house. Why do we all have to be locked down with you?
Well, I do it. So I've been working for like since 2020, I've been fully 100% remote. But then when it's public holidays and people don't go to work, I feel different and I love the feeling. And then people ask me, why are you happy? You don't go to work, so it's not like public holidays mean anything to you. I'm like,
There's
because
mental.
every other person is in their house.
So we're all together
Everybody
as
is
a
locked
community.
up.
Misery
People
loves
are at
company,
home.
man.
And I'm like, yes, it is how it should be.
No, it's not. Humans are social animals. Goodness.
No, stay in your
Let me
houses.
just lie you. I'm not saying this so. You didn't hear it from my mouth, but I agree with you.
With me?
But you didn't hear
With me or with her?
about the with you.
Put it there.
But you didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that there's video evidence. Please, hope that camera is rolling. Sorry, wait, her close
They
up.
can't see
Please,
that.
Please, her close up. Hope that camera
It's
is
not
rolling.
rolling. It won't roll.
Anyway, continue your story.
Yeah. Because I'm really into it. Especially
Wait,
now
I
that
think I
I
have
know
a
you're on my
question,
side.
actually.
So
I think I
I'm
have a
very into
question.
the story.
Okay.
So you've not worked. I mean, since lockdown, so for the last like about 4 years or so, remote.
100%.
Okay,
And it would take a lot
to bring you back
to
out of
change
that.
this structure.
New lifestyle.
It would take a lot, man, because I'm so deep into it.
Lifestyle.
Like honestly, the passion on your face is
Like
so palpable.
you
man.
can.
Like, I feel
Sometimes,
like I can touch the passion.
sometimes I think that was like 2022, I got one email. The email wanted to like poach. And then I saw hybrid. I was like,
See, people
worry
are not
about
even
it.
serious.
please no, let's not even start.
You are not even
Just-
serious. You didn't come correct
No,
at
I
all.
beg.
Wow.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
so I mean, it's good that you said some. Well, to a large extent, you've worked on site and remotely, right? My question is like, which one do you feel was more enabling for your career, like in terms of growth, in terms of
I would
helping you
say
scale?
remote work.
Really?
I'm pro remote work every time. When I was doing that negotiation with the boss,
The fitness one?
yes,
Okay.
for me to work remotely, one of the points I used in my arguments, and I think it's a very valid point till tomorrow, is that
Bringing out
with
my
remote
notes.
work, you are really measured by your performance. You cannot just show up. A lot of people in the on-site program just show up.
Come every day.
You
mark
came every day. If you don't come to work, if you come late, they will give you query. You know, the ones that deduct salary with deduct salary. But then to ensure that your salary is complete, just,
You just
show up
show
at
up.
work.
Yeah.
Right?
Clock your 9
There
to
are those
5.
who obviously perform and show up, but there are a lot who show up, faff, do their time, go home. Right? But then if you're working remotely, you don't have the luxury of showing up, because the only way people will know that you are in the system
Is if you
is
complete
when
your
you
tasks.
have your results. You cannot tell me, oh, I was thinking about it the whole day, that's why I've not done it. Proof that you were thinking about it. At
my
least maybe document something. Right. So for every claim you make as a remote worker, you need something to back it up. And that is really, performance.
I don't write them
Okay.
down. Make anybody.
That actually makes sense. And I think I agree. Not even I think I agree. But there's the other side of the coin, which is, let's talk about the politics of visibility in the workplace. We realize, or we've noticed, and this is like a lot of research and whatever, that a lot of times growth seems to come easily within organizational structures to people who are a lot like just visible in your face about the work that they do, blah blah blah. We've even had a couple people say, as a junior, you have absolutely no business working, or I wouldn't say absolutely, but I've seen tweets about this where you have no business pursuing a remote job at the start of your career, because it's just not going to take you that far. I've also seen people tweet things like they would say physical meetings are more optimal for building cohesive team dynamics, building team structure, I mean team culture, bonding, and all of that. Right? What is your take on that? And so you can go from like a general to a specific thing, like as a whole, what's your take on it? But also as it impacts somebody, like a specific individual, what do you think? How do you think that plays into their own path?
Okay. First, I'll say that visibility, we need to understand what visibility is first, right? As against appearance, like I mentioned in the first No, my first reply, right? Instead of showing up and appearing, right? Visibility is more about perception, right? So, appearance means we can see you, right? We're seeing you. A lot of people confuse that with, the essence of visibility at work. Visibility at work is we can
your
perceive your presence, whether or not we are seeing you physically, whether or not you are living in our house. Somehow, we can perceive your presence. And what is especially important is who is perceiving your presence. If the people who do not matter, aka the people who do not make any decision about your career, are the ones who perceive your presence, to a large extent, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
So people who make those key decisions have to be the ones to perceive your presence, right?
So there's a strategic angle to this visibility.
Yeah. It is politics.
Yeah.
I always talk about politics when it comes to talking about workplace. People think, politics generally has a bad rep.
Yeah.
Thanks to people in our government. But then politics basically is how you relate with people, right?
Real.
How you relate with people in the way that you are advancing yourself, and they also want to advance themselves, right?
Yeah. I think politics is central to human nature. But
Exactly, it is, right? So in the workplace, it exists. When I'm saying that you want to be visible to people who matter, who can impact your career, that is politics. The question is, how do you want to do that, right? So from your question, it's assuming that it is easier to do that in an on-site type
environment,
job than in a remote work. And I do not exactly agree. It's not like I disagree, right? So it's a function of culture, right?
Okay.
Again, culture and politics are very interrelated. Or basically, culture houses politics, right? Culture here is what is the dynamics of the workplace you find yourself in. Are they people who do not really rate remote work?
Okay.
Are they people who love and encourage remote work? If you find yourself negotiating, so a lot of people who do hybrid, they do so because they want to appease, the desire for remote work that people have. So they'll say, okay, come in 3 days, you stay at home any 2 days, or come in 2 days, stay at home 3 days. They're doing that so that you are happy, we are happy.
Yeah.
If the workplace could really choose, it looks to me like they would rather do on site. But because you have this desire to work from home, we'll give you 3 days or 2 days.
there's that, but also
Right.
sometimes when you've raised and you've paid for office,
Yes.
people have to be in the office. So
Well, that's the thing, right? So if you're in that kind of place where they see value in being at the office, chances are, if you are out of office a lot of times,
it reflects
you could stifle your growth.
Yes. So you
Right.
must understand the
You
environment.
need you need to understand. There are some companies that never had an office.
Yes.
They've been remote from day one. Their culture is built on, that remote work structure, right? So if you love remote working and you go work for people like that, it doesn't affect your growth. You will definitely grow because they have factored remote work into their structure.
Yes.
Right? So
that makes sense.
does remote working affect your visibility? I think not.
Yeah.
You just need to know where you are at and play your politics
Accordingly. Right. Got it. Speak the language, basically.
Yeah. And if I was going to say, so how do people play this politics? Personally, I'll say 3 things matter. I'll say
Things to jot down.
I'll say your productivity, right? So are you doing what you've been employed to do?
Okay.
Right. So that's your results, your performance, right? Are you doing it? Number 2 is, are you passionate about it? Right. And passion often is expressed outside of doing what you are told to do. It is
Extra mile is where passion
exactly.
is.
It is you being a starter. It is you being somebody that takes initiative.
Yeah.
It is you being somebody who provides solution, not necessarily in your
Current.
direct purview, but something else. Like, somebody has a problem somewhere. They know that, okay, if I share it with this man, chances are he has a solution, right? So there's your productivity, there's performance, and then there's compatibility, which I've already talked about, right? If you are not,
environment.
cut out for remote work, I believe that there are employees who really love to be in the office, right? And for valid reasons. If you're not cut out for remote work and you find yourself in a remote place, chances are you struggle with it, right? And then there's also compatibility in the sense that, again, politics. Are you the kind of guy that people love in your office, or do they see you and want to leave?
Yeah.
Or when you're not in the office that day, everybody is happy.
Yeah. Can breathe.
Right. So, that goes a long way to affecting your growth again. So, yeah.
Do you want to start, advance, or switch to a career in tech?
You can learn the skills you need to become successful when you apply into the Old School Africa program.
Old School Africa has a variety of code and no-code programs like front-end engineering, back-end engineering, data science, data analysis, cybersecurity, product design, product marketing, and so many other programs.
That was a nice list. Classes are fully virtual, so you can learn anywhere. Tuition is affordable. There's an incredible community of learners ready to welcome and support you. And you can also earn a diploma at the end of the 12 months program.
So if this sounds interesting to you, you can get more information about available programs and how to apply at www.oldschoolafrica.com. That's so cheap. I really love that answer.
Right? Yeah. Especially that part about, the compatibility, understanding your context is very specific. Like everybody can just take it and apply it to themselves.
Yes. Yeah. I particularly love that answer because I didn't really want you already said, I would say not, but I really like the fact that it's very considerate of people who are in situations, because I was going to ask that follow-up question that, like, we can say no, but then there are really some bosses that just have a bias for staff who would show up versus the ones who would not show up physically. Yeah. And I think that's an important thing to consider.
So, they just like to see, what we call eye service.
Yes, exactly. And there's a huge culture of that here.
In my career, I've seen a lot of eye service. Yes. They don't know Jack, but I'm sorry, if you have ever worked with me and you think I'm talking about you, probably it's not you, right? But
no, it probably is.
There are a lot of people who just show up. They are everywhere, But then when it comes to what they're doing, their actual responsibilities, they're not really doing great at it, right? So for those people, they would grow faster than you, who is doing great at your stuff, but not using the word visible, right? It works for them. So those people would love the on-site job.
Yeah.
You get, so
fair enough. You sort of answered the next segment, which is, so we have a community that sent in questions just
okay.
Right. It's around this, but there's a part I want you to also answer, so I'm just going to read it. So it says, hi, in context, I started my career as a remote worker, so I've never been at the office at any point, but it's been 5 years and I've only been promoted twice, right? Both times weren't even actual promotions, they just happened because I job hopped. I noticed that my other friends in the similar parts who have hybrid roles tend to move up the ladder faster. I'm concerned that because I'm not physically present in the office, it's hurting my chances of being promoted and advancing my career. I'm not sure how to make myself more visible and ensure my contributions are recognized. How do I navigate this and demonstrate value to my employer while working remotely? So I know that you've touched on that, but the part about, being only able to grow by job hopping, right? I think that does also in the context of for people that don't have a lot of structure in their remote roles, how do you advise people navigate that? Because it's harder to sort of structure remote roles, right? What's inside my head now, what I'm trying to ask is, I'm working remotely. I have other people, like I'm a software engineer. I don't have to come to the office. But because everybody is coming to the office, they can see them, right? They remember them. I'm out of sight. I'm out of mind. how then do I navigate that such that it doesn't keep reoccurring to me, and also I don't have to keep job hopping? That's my question.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like two very key aspects present in that question. First thing is job hopping. I mean, truly, people who job hop grow faster in terms of remuneration and is it remuneration or remuneration?
Remuneration.
Salary, money that they're getting, right? And
Said don't stress me.
they grow faster in terms of their pay. They also grow faster in terms of title and responsibility, right? Why is that? Because whenever you're applying for a new role, it's almost that there's that unspoken thing that, look, I'm only going to take equal or higher,
Yes.
never lower. So if I do 6 months here and I'm going to get a new job, it means chances are, if I pitch myself well, I could get higher. And more often than not, you will get higher something, either a higher pay or a higher role.
Yeah.
Right. And that is you advancing your career. But then there's also there could also be a downside to that, career-wise, in the sense that you have not, apart from the fact that a lot of recruiters find it a little bit messy, there's a lot you can learn from being in a place for a long time, right? If you're really doing your work, right? Being in a place for a long time, you get to learn, experience of your particular industry, but then there's a lot of work politics you get to learn also.
For being in a place for a long time. Yeah.
I think somebody who has worked in a place for, say, 2 years and somebody who has been job hopping from, like, say, in 2 years, in that 2 years, this man has been in one place. This guy has gone to like 4 different places, job hopping, right? When it comes to the politics at workplace, this person who has been in a place for 2 years, maybe more, chances are they are more adept at it than this other person. Because you have to relate with the same people every day for 2 years. To survive it, you really need to understand people. You really need to understand how this boss thinks. They will piss you off. You need to understand how to navigate being pissed off and not resigning, right? You become a lot more resilient, right? You know how to navigate this thing. But if you've been job hopping, right, chances are you're not resilient enough to deal with some of the negative side of work politics, right? So that could very much affect your work productivity and eventually affect your actual career growth in terms of your skills and all of that stuff, right? If it's manifested well, it just stunts your growth in the long run, right?
But I'm also saying for the person that is, sorry to cut you off, but the person that is in that same structure, like, I've been here 2 years, and in a way I'm navigating, but it seems like they're forgetting me because I can see that my other mates are probably growing faster.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So usually when there's a problem, the first thing you ask is, what am I doing wrong? Right? Remember those 3 things I said are relevant for, visibility. Am I actually performing? If yes, who knows about this? Who should know about it? Right? And how do I get them to know about it?
Yeah.
If there are meetings and they ask you, John, do you have anything to say? You say, oh, nothing from me.
Yeah.
Right?
I had a phase.
That's not helpful. You want to contribute, and if you're going to contribute, at least try to contribute something sensible, right?
But just on your mic, please, and elongate the meeting, obviously, please.
Don't be visible for the wrong thing, right? But if remember productivity, it means you know your onion, right?
Yeah.
When you get the opportunity to be active in a larger gathering where people who matter are present, everybody matters, but people who can make decisions on your career growth within that structure, if they're present, you want to be a lot more outspoken and visible, right? Visible here again means you could be in your house with a remote, work, and then in that you open your mic and you talk, right? Say something sensible. They notice, who is that guy, right? There is you, again, I started from, your productivity. Then there is you being passionate, like I talked about, right? You've made yourself known that, okay, I know my onions, right? But then they're talking about other things in the office. Things are happening that are outside of your immediate desk. but you have somehow restricted yourself to what concerns you,
Yeah.
and you don't step outside of
I
that.
think that might be the person's issue.
Right?
Yeah.
If HRO has a problem and you have an idea and say, hey, look, HRO, how about we do this thing? HRO takes note of you. If product has a problem and you say, product, look, I think this. What happens is you eventually become the ally to these people.
Yeah.
So becoming an ally, yeah.
Right? You become their ally. They see you as useful, an asset.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's easy to now become their friend.
Yeah.
I know that there's this whole thing that, your colleagues are not your
Colleagues can be
friends.
your
Well,
friends, yeah.
trust me, people who make friends with their colleagues, especially the higher ups, are likely to grow faster than you who is saying, we're not friends, so I'm on my own. Go and sit in your desk. Where's that cubicle? Can you make my own cubicle high? You are not likely to grow. So these are the
And
things.
this is coming from an introvert, guys. So
Right? So
Get out of your shell, please.
so you want to now. I would say that having camaraderie with your colleagues is a lot harder with remote work.
Yes, I can
admit that, right? But then it's not something that cannot be worked on. There are team bonding sessions. You deliberately see, politics is deliberate, right? Visibility is a deliberate endeavor, right? If you say I want my presence to be felt, I want it to be that if I'm not in the meeting today, they will know.
yes.
I want it to be that if I'm in the meeting and I don't talk, somebody will say, Tega, don't you have anything to say?
Yeah.
We want to talk to us. If you're able to achieve that, you have really achieved visibility. Now, if you're performing at your desk and you have achieved that, that is peak visibility.
Yeah. I have two things to even add to that. I think the first thing you were talking about, like, you have to examine yourself. Am I really productive? But I think the second question to ask is that, are you really paying attention to the big picture for the business, right? Because you can actually be productive in your daily tasks, your monthly tasks, whatever. But the question is, how much of an impact does it make to the company's bottom line? That is usually a much bigger conversation, and it makes a much more meaningful case for you than, you guys asked me to do this and I actually did this, right? It's like, okay, no, if I can translate this, or if I can prove that I have contributed this, like, are not things that you think are meaningful to you or should be meaningful to a business, but things that are truly meaningful. So, for example, if you're working for a business and a really important thing is that they like within Q3 they need to sell XYZ units of something, how does your work contribute to that is a much more important conversation than did I do my tasks? I think that's one.
And also I think another angle might also be maybe the person is just not, because sometimes some managers are not just pushing you forward. And so then you have to prompt them and remind them that, excuse me, sir, you're forgetting me, or excuse me, ma'am, please, I'm here. And like,
use
my
your
growth
one-on-ones, man.
is dependent
Exactly.
on you.
Exactly.
Please,
So
help me.
I tell people that, look, visibility is not your manager's responsibility.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility. Your manager is an ally, right? Your manager has to find you worthy of
Expending
being
resources,
mentioned
yes.
in these conversations where your growth could happen.
Yes.
Right. And again, it still falls back to those three things I talked
really
about.
Right.
If your manager knows that, so let me give you something, right? As a manager, if I have a report who excels at their task, right? In my head, they're an asset, right? And if they said they wanted to leave the company, I would try to get them to stay.
Yeah.
Of course.
In trying to get them to stay, I want to know what is wrong. Why do you want to leave? I want to make it conducive enough for them to stay so that I can benefit from their shine. Remember, I'm managing these people, right? So when this person shines, I shine, right? So that's one way to get your manager's attention, shine. But then it's possible to be this person who is productive, and your manager self still doesn't talk about you. You want to also be the manager's friend and be like, hey, look, boss, there's a meeting today, right? This is a strategy. I'll say something about it, but let me just finish this thought. There's a meeting today. Do you mind if I sit in and, listen in and hear what is being discussed? Is this something I can join? If he says yes, you're like, do you mind like sharing with me what this agenda is? And so I see where I can contribute and all that stuff. Again, that shows the manager that, look, beyond your normal day-to-day task,
You're interested.
you're interested in doing things that, again, push you and get you in the limelight. The other thing I was going to say is that it is what I do personally, right? I have people in my team, and these weekly stand-ups, right? I'm like, look, let's rotate this thing now, right? I called one of them. I said, I want you guys to be doing this thing every week where we rotate it. And he was like, why? I said, because chances are, if I'm talking about the team's activity, I'm likely to focus on most of the things that are like under my purview.
Yeah.
And some of the nitty-gritty things that you did, nobody will hear about it. But the day you have an opportunity to talk about, the department's activities, chances are you would focus on those nitty-gritty things that you did, right? But if everybody gets a chance to go around and do that, everybody gets an opportunity to be visible, to talk about themselves, right?
Yeah.
To shine. So,
That's fair.
there are ways to get your manager to be your ally. Now, if chances are you and your manager don't get along, then that for me is already the beginning of your problem. Right? Although somebody who is very political can jump the manager and go and make nice with the person up. But I personally do not advise that. I feel like if you can always be in good terms with your manager, chances are you will do better when it comes to growth. If you get so.
Yeah. I mean, that's great so far. I feel like our banter and all of that, we need to bring it back a bit, because I'm
Get a bit serious.
feeling a little bit cold.
Get a bit serious in here.
What's going on? Like, oh my God.
He was giving master class and we're already writing down.
Politics, just a few things down. Okay. So we have a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I have questions for you.
Okay.
But the problem is I don't know you were a fashion boy.
Oh, come on.
Before you
How
came.
does somebody who doesn't go anywhere be a fashion boy?
Why are you doing like this? Are you not digital?
You that can be forming the fashion show in your head already. You just needed a place to express.
Just a little bracelet.
You get
a little watch.
Do you understand?
A little locks.
Please, if you can't see, just go to YouTube. It's that.
This tease is much. This tease is
a
much.
lot.
But anyway, so it's going to be a rapid fire segment. Yes.
Okay.
So let me just tell you that if you fail, I'll really call my account number out so that you can actually.
People will send you money.
Oh my God, no, please, it's for you.
It's you.
I mean, you can call my own out.
Azal.
I can help you.
Yeah.
I know, but Azal. You have the rich one, yes.
So I'm going to give you this or that. You have to quickly pick.
Okay.
1 millisecond if you think.
I will do my best.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I think this question is very good because you've talked about being an introvert. So, calls or emails?
Emails.
Of course. Rings or bracelets?
Oh, that's hard. Both.
See,
we know you are
50
stacked,
50
but
milliseconds
one.
have passed.
Just pick one. Like if you had to rush out of the house
Bracelets.
and you could.
I knew. Do you know I knew I was going to say bracelet because look at that.
I've been wearing
Stacked
bracelets for years.
For years.
Right? There are times
I can see the
there
shine
are
in
times
your
where I don't
face.
have like rings on, but I feel naked without the bracelet on. So
Interesting. Joanna, let me see
Fair
your hand. Let me see your hand.
Oh, a single lady.
Oh, come on for you. You're always checking whether you're wearing ring. I said, let me see if you're wearing bracelet or not.
Well, I always wear these. Always. Because I got them from my mom like 10 years ago.
Oh, shout out to Joanna's mom.
is it going to become me like a hello?
I don't know if it's that kind of thing, but like my kid wants it. Oh God, I hope I have a daughter.
Joanna said this thing yesterday and she's saying it again. So God, please.
No, I've told you anyway. I don't want to expose my family, but they love having one girl.
Hear the babe.
One
Hear
girl.
the
You
babe.
want to have 2 or more?
I just know that I was sad when I was a kid for a
you
really
wanted a
long time
sister.
because I kept demanding, like my mom was God, when am I going to have a sister?
No.
So, but anyway, I digress, please.
I want to say I can relate, but I mean I don't know if it's the same
It's
thing.
true, yeah. Poor boy. You don't know the pleasure of having a
sometimes
sister.
I sit down and wonder, would my life or experiences have been different if there was a sister?
I think so. You can ask my brothers.
I think
See.
so because I only have one really young brother, so I feel like it would be different.
I mean, it
'cause
would be different, but what
it's a
sucks is
different
that I
vibe
don't
for
know
me.
how different it would have been.
Beautifully different. But I'm not saying your life is not beautiful, but just like women. Like women.
Women, right?
Okay.
Okay, but let's continue. Slack or WhatsApp?
Slack or what?
Or WhatsApp? For comes.
Slack. Okay. Slack or WhatsApp.
Is this Expo?
Yeah,
No,
they
no.
think
I actually heard snack.
Oh, Snack.
Oh, Slack.
Okay, Slack or WhatsApp. If it's corporate comms, I'll say Slack. If it's, personal,
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
All right. I know the answer to this one. We all do, but I'll just ask: virtual or in-person events?
Virtual.
Of course.
Of course.
But
Events.
I would do anything to not.
Leave your house.
And if I would show up, please. I was discussing my dad. And we listed certain things that we have in common. Backseat. Right? If you successfully get me out of my house to your event, can you just leave me in the back seat? Can you not call me to the front?
Fair.
You get. So,
I hear that.
Fair enough. Okay, so would you rather get a pay raise or a bonus?
a pay raise.
Of course, like who would pick a
Steady.
bonus?
Steady. Like it's coming month to month. Okay.
Okay. Would you rather receive group feedback or one-on-one feedback?
Group.
Ah, interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm overly analytical, by the way. It's annoying. It's one of the things I love and hate about myself. So why do I like group feedback?
Yeah.
Because then I can. It's like pool, like a pool, right? It's data.
You can
If
choose your own.
4 people say the same thing, I'm taking it seriously,
Okay,
right?
I get that.
Because when one says it, the one says, I don't like the way you give feedback to us. And then somebody is corroborating what the person is saying and say, okay, no, it's not like it's like this. I'm getting more
Tailored feedback.
context
Okay.
for it, and I can use it. But if it's one-on-one, sometimes that just many people can be in their feelings, and not somebody else is not there to temper it.
Like to just
Yeah.
balance
To temper
things
it.
out.
Balance
Yeah,
is
yeah,
needed.
yeah.
I get
Okay.
that. Okay, so
Good
morning
case.
meetings or evening wrap-ups?
Oh, that's hard.
I'm so not a morning person.
It's hard. See,
So I've been forced to rethink my life choices lately.
I cannot even answer that. Let me tell you why. I don't like morning meetings because then I don't want to just jump into meetings. But the thing is, I'm always happy when I know that meetings for the day are done.
Yeah.
Right? So on one hand, I'm like, can we delay till later in the day? But on the other hand, can we just wrap it up already? Right? So I think I would go for morning meetings.
Okay, so digital notes or traditional pen and paper?
Digital notes.
Really?
Fair enough. I actually prefer writing with pen and paper because
For your
I feel
to-do
like it
list?
just sticks.
I only use pen and paper when I want to really map out a thought. Right? So I'm using strokes and lines and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But if it's just to note stuff, my phone,
That
straight
makes
up.
sense, but not for me.
Yes. That my to-do list must be on the paper and the book.
Oh yeah, definitely. Long-term projects or short-term tasks?
That's a weird question because short-term tasks contribute to long-term projects.
Okay, short-term projects. Let me correct it. Long-term projects or short-term projects?
Short-term.
Same.
Let's get it done and over with.
And over with, yeah.
But I feel like because of like how long we've also been working on this podcast, I feel like long-term projects give you more insight. Like you sat down with the thought, you are more in tune with the project as opposed to the short-term one when you've just done
I
it
think
in like
it's
2
your
weeks,
definition of
3 weeks.
long-term,
Yeah,
short-term, sure, because for me,
Okay.
we've worked on it for a while, but I think
Long-term
for
is-
the scope of the type of projects, it's not really overly long-term like that.
So for me, even though I have said short-term projects, and we have said short-term project versus long-term projects, in my head, there's always a long-term project.
like they are all joined together.
There's something housing all
Joining
the
them
short-term
together.
projects to
Okay,
make
okay,
a long-term
fair.
project. So
Yeah.
you're always committed to one long-term project, at least
Makes
at any
sense.
point in time.
Okay, so brainstorming sessions or solo, like group brainstorming. Or
Solo.
Sounds. Yeah.
Like
feel
it's just sticking the introvert list. Like
I feel like you're like a textbook definition of an introvert.
it's just sticking it.
Do you believe in taking work breaks or you power through?
How do I answer that question? I'm constantly taking work breaks. How will I explain it? So chill. Let me give context.
In context.
I function the most when I'm standing up. I function better when I'm standing up, right? So I will mostly sit when I want to
Relax.
actually now like impute stuff,
Yeah.
right? But when I'm thinking, I am pacing. When I'm writing, I am pacing. As long as I'm being in that high functional state, I am pacing. And when I'm getting up to pace, it often feels like a break. I don't know how to explain it.
But you are actually doing more brain work at that time.
And then because it's remote work, like, let me give you another context. In on-site job, when work ends.
Yes.
This is a little joke that is going on in our head. Every time you say context, we're just like,
When work ends, you close your laptop, you get up, you go home. You've left work, right? You know what break looks like. You get up from your desk, you go and sit somewhere else or do something else. That's like break, right? But because of the way I work, right, as I'm pacing, I can pace away from my work desk and pace to the parlor. Again, I'm working from home, or pace to my room. I'm just pacing,
Walking.
right? There's music in the background, so it's almost like the lines between work and life, what break would have given me, is blurred, right? So I'm constantly in that
movement.
just being there.
State
I
of
feel that.
enmeshment.
Exactly.
Okay, last one. B2B marketing, B2C marketing. Choose one.
B2C.
Yeah, because I kind of noticed that
hear
trajectory
it.
with your line
hear
of
it.
your previous work. It's very B2C.
So I mean, I did B2B. It's not B2B marketing per se, but B2B interaction. I don't know what to call it. Sales. For the most part, B2B is
It's sales. Yeah.
sales.
It's very sales.
Right. So I've done B2B sales, but if you ask me, I'll pick B2C because it's easy for me. I feel like it's easy to determine what individuals want than what corporates want. Right.
Can easily find the pain points.
Yes, it's easy to also suggest to individuals than marketing is suggestion now. You are dropping one small thing here, let them see it. That thing will make them think about it the whole day. Tomorrow you drop another thing that will make them wonder, where can I buy it? But businesses, they already have their framework.
Yes.
To get them out of it, it's a lot.
Yes, it's often a game of changing culture with businesses.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
That was a good run. Okay. Nice one.
I did my best.
You try.
But it was not rapid at all, Sha. You failed.
I mean,
This one I explained that
so it's not my fault. It's not me. See, to be honest, it's not me. It's you people. And I'll tell you why. You were asking questions that required context.
Oh my God. Anyway, Sha.
Oh, that's these marketers. They have an explanation for most things. But that's fine. We will allow you.
Okay.
So I know you talked about like maintaining like a strong relationship with your colleagues, like while being a remote worker. Like, can you touch more on that? Let's just like more practical tips. How do I connect with more people?
Don't be overly serious. Right. Places where I obviously I'm speaking for like my personal experience. I've noticed that places where you don't have to be sa. Right? Places where you can be to a large extent informal. It's easy to form personal bonds that look like friendship.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, one of the ways to just like connect with your colleagues is let them help you, help them also, but then create that informal environment where they are not scared to, perhaps flop or be a step out of line. If you're the kind of person who somebody does something that looks like they've stepped on your toe, you must address it. You cannot give them grace and say, okay, look, this person was not looking to get at me, right? You also want to understand that everybody is there for the business, for the job. Nothing is really personal when things, go south, right? So give people grace, right? So what have I mentioned? I've mentioned
Giving people grace.
kind of like being informal, right? If I'm going to say, I'll say treat them like your guy, right? Give people grace.
They give you the opportunity to.
Well, that's the thing. You have to, being social means you need to have some skill with that, right? You have to be willing to help people and let them help you too. If you're the only one helping people, you don't let them help you, you start to look suspicious, right? Like, bro, what are you up to? I better not help me again. I better carry on, nigga. Right? So you have to...
because it then looks like you're always like trying to tell them, helping them so that you can say it in the meeting that, oh yeah, we worked on
you
it
understand,
together.
right?
Yeah.
So let people help you, help people. It let you guys bond, right? Have regular communication, right? But then again, I would say all of these things is within the context of people who, are relevant to your execution. So I'll be very honest to say that you cannot be friends with everybody.
Yep.
Right? But then there are key people that you relate with on a day-to-day that if they drop the ball, it will affect your own progress. Right? These are the people you need on your ranks in your side.
Yeah.
I'll give an instance. For most product-led companies, there's the growth department or marketing department, and then there's the product. The product head or product lead or whatever, product manager, and the growth person cannot be...
Yeah. At loggerheads.
Yeah,
You understand? Because you guys work together. You are more likely to succeed as a marketing person if you are in good terms with the product person.
Definitely.
You're more likely to succeed as a product person if you're in good terms with the marketing person. Product people, you have to be nice, make nice with the compliance people. So once you know the people who move things, who make things happen for your own responsibilities, those are the people you really want to be very, close to. Having a relationship that fosters, success in your own work.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That makes sense. I think a really important thing though is that we talk about these things and they're all true, but I think it's a situation of all things being equal. So it's really important to acknowledge that there are some scenarios where you're in a high tension environment, work environment, or it's toxic. Define what toxic is to you. Define what life looks like or should look like for you ideally, right? And if it's an environment like that, and you can see that the politics is changing you in a way that is so fundamentally opposed to your values, it's okay. I mean, I get sometimes that you can't just leave immediately, but you can plan and strategize and optimize for your exit. That's also a valid strategy to use.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation. Right? Great.
I enjoyed myself. This was easy. I thought it would be hard, but it was easy. It went well. Let's do it again.
So much,
because he told us.
Yes, let's do it again. No,
he told us that he might feel a little anxious, and hearing that review is just like, come on.
Okay.
I don't want to shout so much, but I just know that this tease is,
Oh, please.
This was so much fun.
Just let's not make so much noise.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Listening. Right? Do you want to give us any final words? You look like you want to give us vote of thanks. So
thank you for listening to this amazing podcast in context.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Please like, subscribe.
Yeah. Yes, all of it.
All of that thing they do.
Listen.
Turn on the bell notification.
Yes. One important thing before I go, let's not forget that if you are, figuring out what stage of you're trying to figure out what stage of your career you're at, trying to decide what your next steps should be. We have a worksheet that will help you do just that. So please don't hesitate to visit our website and copy your own worksheets and get started to changing your life.
Because you have to help your career. Also with all the context.
So I have a wisecrack. Help us help you to help us all.
Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Once this type of jokes start coming out, it's time to be going home.
Oh, my God. Let's wrap it up.
It's time to be going home. So,
okay,
guys.
let's wrap it up.
Thank you. See y'all later.
Bye.